Yo, what is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody is doing good. Today we're diving into a topic that is going to dominate the offseason narrative, especially for those Chicago Bears. Justin Fields or Caleb Williams. Windy City Problems is what we're calling this because it is a big situation for the Chicago Bears. What do they intend to do? How do they plan to move forward? Are they sticking with Justin Fields? Are they going to draft Caleb Williams? What path do they want to go? I got a little bit of, information here to suggest they could do both, and I'm a fan. Okay, I'm going to preface this right away. I'm a fan of Justin Fields. I think his game is quality. I think there is still room to grow. He just has been giving a raw deal right now, especially when it comes to the coaching staff, offensive systems that he has had to play in. So let's talk about Justin Fields. First 3 years in the league, okay. Well, we're going to negate year one. We're going to go to year two and year three because I do believe that is where we should be, at least directing our attention at this point. Has Justin Fields been progressing as a NFL passer? You can make the argument both ways. Year two from year one, absolute progression, especially when we're talking fantasy football-wise. He was a quarterback 6, man, 307 points, 62% on the boom rate. Fantastic for this quarterback. Hence why all of us, including myself, believed that Justin Fields was going to take that next leap up in his progression, in his development, and become the quarterback, not only for fantasy football, but for the Chicago Bears to be that guy we can say is that franchise passer in the NFL. Like I said, changeover at the offensive system has hindered his progression and his development. So year three, 2023, he finishes as a quarterback 18. He did lose some contests, only played in 13 games due to that thumb injury. 61% this season, 2,062 yards, 16 TDs to 9 interceptions. Where in 2022, he was a quarterback 6, man. He did very well, 60% on the pass, 22, 42, 17 TDs, 11 picks. Where he did uplift all of his statistics was in the rushing upside. 160 attempts for 1143 and 8 touchdowns. This is why in fantasy football especially, you thought Justin Fields was going to explode in year three. Even if we're talking just fantasy football or we're talking in football in general, man, we saw a massive drop-off when it comes to the play of Justin Fields. We saw good contests. We saw games of immense struggle. He couldn't find the reads, couldn't find the open man, deep over the middle, mid-range over the middle, completely struggling. Wide receivers not separating properly. DJ Moore was literally the only guy getting open outside of Cole Kmet, and then they're trying to utilize the run game. So it was very difficult for a Justin Fields to continue down this path, hoping the statistics would follow. He didn't do terribly, and if you see, 13 games, divide all his statistics, it would have been a much better season had he played a full 17. But, we got to say, what are they planning to do as Justin Fields does enter year 4 in the NFL? We got some issues on the salary cap, do we? We do not for the Chicago Bears. They got boatloads of money, man. $49 million to spend on this upcoming free agent class here in Chicago. It is going to be interesting. Notable names. Do we really see any huge ones? Yannick Ngakoue goes down with that injury. You can't tell me they're going to re-sign him. He's going to be dealing with full-on recovery. We got Justin Jones. He was a starter on the defensive tackle. We got guard Lucas Patrick. He did fill in at the center at times. So, is he a possible, viable re-sign, even though they want to try to, revamp this offensive line here in Chicago? You got Jalen Johnson, got to be priority number 1. This defense was absolutely balling as the season did go on. Johnson's a big part of that. One of the better young defensive backs in this league. He's going to covet a massive payday, and GM Poles is going to have to pony up the dough, or they're going to franchise tag him. He is not going anywhere outside of a trade potentially from these Bears to another club. Darnell Mooney, another notable name on the list for this free agent list. Do they want to bring back Mooney? They're going to go in the NFL draft to find other wide receivers. Absolutely very possible in this situation. Mooney did not have a great year, but again, Justin Fields had a big problem spreading the ball around consistently to all of these wide receivers. I'm a fan of Mooney. I think Mooney can actually be a very solid secondary wide receiver in any offense in the NFL. So who's to blame? Was it Fields or was it Mooney? But Mooney did have his struggle separating as well. So there is a little bit of, 1 and 2 to blame around. When it comes to Justin Justin Fields' contract. This is one of the bigger situations on why the Bears front office may be looking to ship him out and draft a Caleb Williams, man. Coming up this season, it's not a big one. 2024, he's got $6 million contract. The 4-year, $18 million rookie contract he's still on. However, they're going to have to decide on the 5th-year option this year coming up. Are they going to pony up the dough to pay a Justin Fields at $21.9 million? That's the question mark. Are you going to pass up on a guy like Caleb Williams, who will be now on a rookie deal as well, coming into a year one? Now you can say we can develop Caleb Williams. We can let Justin Fields go. You do get the benefit of building out the rest of this roster on the salary cap while having a Caleb Williams and not having to pay Justin Fields $21 million before you do decide to give him a long-term contract. If he does not perform in year 4 and you decline your 5th-year option, what is your plan after that when you're likely going to have to draft another quarterback anyway? This is why the situation is so, dire, you do want to say, for this Bears front office, because it's going to be very difficult. Which one would you rather have? The player, you're going to compare player skill sets, but which one would you rather have contractually? Which one is the cheaper option? Can they both be similar of likeness when it comes to playing talent? Who's better? Is it Fields or is it Caleb? There's a lot of conversation in that regard, but financially speaking alone, you got to say it's working to the benefit of them drafting a Caleb Williams, starting fresh, and getting a rookie quarterback contract while building out the rest of your roster. That has been the MO of a lot of successful teams in the NFL of late. Youthful, potential generational passers with a lot of cap room to build out the rest of the team. So we shall see. It's a big, interesting aspect when it comes to their free agent list, which is not necessarily daunting, but there is going to be decisions that are going to have to be made. When it comes to the NFL draft, the Bears do have, 6 picks, 2 round 1, 1 round 3, 2 round 4, and 1 round 5. The to be determined is due in part to the compensatory picks that will be given out by the NFL soon, so we will know when the round 4 to round 5 picks will be in the NFL draft. But right now they got pick 1 from those Carolina Panthers, pick 9 they own right now. So I mean, a couple draft scenarios we could discuss on the Chicago Bears at this point. Scenario 1, these are all my opinion, it's all up in the air. Like I said, it's all lying season, but these make a lot of sense logically for me. Scenario 1, you pick Caleb Williams and you trade Justin Fields to somebody like the Atlanta Falcons, who will be also craving a quarterback, but likely too far back in the NFL draft to get one of these guys, like a Caleb Williams, like a Drake May, like a Daniels, going to be out of the mix, likely up at pick number 8. So you trade with these Atlanta Falcons, trade down, take their pick 8. You pick Caleb Williams and trade Justin Fields, and you recover pick number 8 from the Atlanta Falcons. Here you can take a Neighbors or a Dunzier at your wide receiver spot. Neighbors may not make it to number 8 as well. He is another quality, talented wide receiver, but at least you can get a Dunzier, or you improve your offensive line or defensive edge presence to help a Montez Sweat rush the quarterback as they started, trying to revamp that defensive front as well. There is options here. So not only do you get a potential, I'm going to continue to use that term, potential generational talent in a Caleb Williams, and you either get yourself a stud wide receiver, or you help build out the offensive line, or continue to build out the defense that was improving. Scenario number 2, we go in pick number 1, you trade down with either Washington or the New England Patriots. That way you stay in the top 3. So if you do that, you recover pick number 2 from Washington. Easily you're picking Marvin Harrison Jr., man. You get yourself a quality wide receiver, and you still have Justin Fields. So that is the other aspect. If you plan intending to keep on Justin Fields as your franchise passer, now you do team him up with an elite caliber wide receiver. Another one, we're going to use the term potential generational wide receiver, Randy Moss style, in somebody like a Marvin Harrison. That should uplift a Caleb Williams play, no kidding. You trade back with those New England Patriots at pick number 3, you're likely still getting a Marvin Harrison Jr. as the 2 top picks should be Caleb Williams and Drake May, quarterbacks going to these quarterback-hungry teams. This is good. And then pick 9, you round it out with a O-line or edge, because now you still have Justin Fields, you got Marvin Harrison, you continue to build out the offensive line to protect a Justin Fields, or you help out the defense. This is a good situation for them as well if they do intend to do that. if you don't trade, what do you do? If you don't trade the number 1 overall pick, if you don't trade Justin Fields, scenario number 3 is very potential-wise with Marvin Harrison being the number 1 overall pick in this NFL draft if the Bears stay here. It's no kidding. Why would they draft a quarterback? Why would they go anywhere else besides Marvin Harrison Jr.? We have not seen a wide receiver drafted number 1 overall since, I believe, Keyshawn Johnson way back in the day. And I mean, this is unheard of in these times in the NFL. They do not take anybody outside a quarterback or defensive presence, maybe offensive line if they're that good. But I mean, a wide receiver number 1 overall, this would be almost like you're wasting the value of the number 1 overall pick because you could get him at pick number 3 at the latest while these quarterback-hungry teams do try to jump up and take the top dogs in this NFL draft. What would I do if I was Chicago Bears right now? Like I said, I do like myself Justin Fields. So if I believe Justin Fields is that guy, I'm absolutely trading down and trying to stack picks. And you could get even more picks than just what I'm listing here with pick number 8 or whatever, pick number 2 or number 3. You're going to stack future picks. You're going to stack picks in this draft and in next year's draft. So there is a lot of potential to keep this build going and keep your salary cap down. But if you do believe that Justin Fields is the guy, I think it's very important right now. The other question is, who's going to be the head coach next year? If Eberflus does not make the playoffs or even have a winning record, are they going to move on from him? So that's going to be another rebuild for a Justin Fields. These situations are not good. Yes, they did get a new offensive coordinator. Hopefully that's going to go seamlessly as they improve this offense. Lots of moving parts, lots of questions. Keeping Eberflus was very interesting. How short is the leash for him to be fired and relieved of duties? He got this job continued for this year because of how well the defense did play the latter part of the season. So you got to believe if you're keeping a Justin Fields, Eberflus has got to have at least a 2-year window to remain as the head coach, to get some camaraderie, to keep this build going in the right direction, and then hopefully a Marvin Harrison Jr. can keep it going. I'm kind of in the camp that I do believe Justin Fields should be given another kick at the can here in Chicago over Caleb Williams. But if I'm looking at it strictly from dollars and cents perspective on the salary cap, yeah, I'm going Caleb Williams in that respect. So Caleb Williams, let's talk about this young man as I'm diving into the lab, baby. We are starting to get it. This is the initial thoughts. I'm going to have a much bigger breakdown of all these rookies as we get into the NFL draft process. Former OU and then USC quarterback, statistically speaking, over 10,000 yards, almost 67% completion, 93 TDs to only 14 interceptions, and he does have the ability to take off and run 27 rushing touchdowns. This man was an absolute beast, scoring touchdowns in college football, and we know, man, if you've seen any tape on a Caleb Williams, we got it, man. Elite arm talent. He can make all the throws. There is no question about that in my mind. Arm strength is absolutely top, and ball placement is absolutely fantastic in a Caleb Williams. He is very accurate. There are passes that we can say poor decision equals poor accuracy, but I do believe overall from what I've already watched from Caleb Williams, watched a ton of Caleb already anyway, he is very accurate. The dual threat quarterback you're looking for in this new NFL, the guy that can take off, have the big arm, and carry this team on his back with his arm, not only just with his legs, he definitely is that dual threat quarterback. Like I said, great rushing upside, very athletic. He will be able to create after the, if plays do break down, escapes the pocket extremely well, creates on the fly. A lot of people saying, the NFL comp is similar to something of a Patrick Mahomes. I'm not willing to go that far just yet, but he does create on the fly like a Patrick Mahomes does. That's why a lot of people are falling in love with his game and claiming he is the next coming of a Patrick Mahomes. I'm not there to say that just yet, man. He has struggled on his reads. We have seen it, especially in the last 5 games here at USC. It was a problem. We did see a lot different defenses coming at him, and he did struggle. Caleb did. So will he be able to round it out with great coaching? Absolutely. He's got all the physical traits that you require. This is what you mean. You don't want to draft a player that doesn't have these, absolute elite traits in his game. Caleb has them. So all you got to do is round out the rest of his body of work, I guess I should say it that way, a.k.a. like they did with a Josh Allen. Figure out some of the mechanical issues. Figure out how to read the field better and then take the better shots. We will see this. There's no doubt in my mind Caleb's an intelligent young man. He will be able to figure it out with solid coaching, man. Struggling with the reads, like I said, there was O-line issues here at USC this past year, so I'm going to give him a little bit of a breather on that one. Not going to, fully say that he can't make the reads because I've seen him make it as well. Improved pocket awareness, again, comes with the O-line issues, but I do want to see him, stand in there, side to side, up and down in that pocket a little bit more without having to take off right away. The biggest one is the leadership. It is in question, and it's not because a lot of people want to say that he was, crying after that one contest on the sideline while he was hugging a family member. That doesn't bother me. What bothered me was when it was in the bowl game and the other quarterback was playing for USC, Moss. And then when they're scoring touchdowns, the teammates were saying, now we're a team. That bothered me. That was not a good look for Caleb Williams. I don't know if that had any indication that it was directed at Caleb Williams, but I'm assuming that it was because they were winning, because they were throwing the ball. Wide receivers were getting open. Offensive line was protecting much better than we had seen the last 5 games for Caleb. So there is a question mark in that. Is ego in part of the play? We don't know, okay? I don't know Caleb Williams. It's just what we see on the field. And when you see teammates of his on the sideline screaming, now we're a team, it's not a good look for Caleb overall. Do I believe that he could take an NFL locker room and lead them? I really, truly hope he can, because the play usually dictates terms anyway, so we shall see. But Caleb Williams versus a Justin Fields is a hot topic that's going to continue down this path. I'm sort of leaning toward the Bears right now, sticking with a Justin Fields over drafting Caleb Williams, but I could definitely go both ways based on the fact of dollars and cents as well. But there you have it. That is my discussion, I guess, on Caleb Williams and Justin Fields. Nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. Lots of off-season content coming your way, plus the AFC NFC Championship. We will break down those games as well, but we'll see you next time. I am out.